Now I'd like to touch upon the competition aspect of our business. As a business, our threats can be divided into two categories, those being small business competitors and large chain competitors. With the small business competitors, we will be competing mostly over atmosphere, quality, and customer service, whereas the larger chain competitors, we will be competing over more convenience, speed, and accessibility. Next, I would like to touch upon our business's limitations. The most glaring limitation is our space. Our primary entrance is located off an alley and not a main road. The alley is between 3rd, 4th, Putnam, and Butler Street. However, being connected to Asylum Comics enables us to have a 3rd Street entrance as well, which will be open so long as Asylum Comics and as long as both establishments are open, which is going to be the primary bulk of our business hours. The small staff, because we are going to be a startup, is just going to be 2 people starting out. But to kind of mitigate any rushes we might experience, we will also have a 3rd part-time employee who will be available on an as-needed basis. And some more smaller limitations we'll experience is, because of the nature of our business and the industry, we have timely access to specialty packaging products, and decorating equipment is limited. We couldn't just go drive out and get a lot of the packaging we'd need. To mitigate that, we would just need careful planning and being able to anticipate what we think what will sell depending on the season. Finally, like any season or any business or industry, there are slow seasons. For the baking industry, slow seasons usually begin after Christmas and persist through or until Valentine's Day. And then as a month, September tends to be a slow month overall. However, given this area and the start of a new semester at Marietta College, coupled with the Sternwheel Festival, we actually anticipate September being one of our stronger months. And so now I'm going to cover our 1-, 3-, and 5-year plans. Within 1 year, we plan to have a full staff, including 1 to 2 bakers, 1 to 2 part-time customer service members, with the possibility of more staff. Within 3 years, we plan to greatly expand our menu offerings to include coffee products, ice cream, and more confectionery-based products. And within 5 years, we plan to greatly expand our special order options, broaden our customer base using consistent and scripted material through various social media outlets such as Facebook and Instagram, as well as maintaining a dedicated YouTube channel. And finally, we would like to open up our menu to include lunch items as well. As for the distribution of funds, although we are a startup, we already have an affordable space set aside and some commercial equipment and appliances on hand. As you can see, the values denoted of what we have up there right now. Now, if we were to win PioBiz, what we would use the bulk of our funds for would be an oven, which would take about half of what the anticipated winnings would be. And from that, as you can see, other things we would plan to purchase would be a proofer, retrofitting our space to become a kitchen, a deep freezer, a 3-basin sink, hand wash sink, work tables, and cooling rack. As I conclude my presentation, I'd also like to invite you all. Today we launch our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So go ahead, like those, follow those. That'd be great. I would also like to invite my business partner and sister, Rebecca Hall, up here for the Q&A session, as she is the subject matter expert on all things baking and baking equipment and things pertaining to baking things.
Thank you. So I'm going to start with one of the same questions I asked the last competitor. Can you talk to me a little bit about what, in my jargon world, I call the minimally viable product? If you didn't have $10,000 in immediate start, can you start at a smaller level? What would you do for a gradual start?
We are pretty well equipped right now. We just need to clear out our space. We don't need to beautify things, but that would be preferred. We probably wouldn't need, our startup cost wouldn't probably be any greater than $5,000 at this point. And if you have anything to add.
Like things you need, such as like an oven, convection oven, and a lot of the main appliances to start out with.
I have a staffing question. You start with, I think this said 3, but you said 2. So.
Yes. However, if we do experience a surge in business, we also have access to a dedicated part-time staff member that we can utilize on an as-needed basis. So if things are slow and we don't need them, yeah.
And your hours would be 7 till 5?
Yes.
Who's cleaning up? Are you going to be doing everything? And what if the baker gets sick?
If the baker gets sick, well, that would pose a large problem. We're going to take multivitamins and make sure plenty of exercise. But In that case, all the while, I will be apprenticing under my sister, and we will be hiring the first position we would be hiring on would be an apprentice baker to, hopefully remedy any situation that would occur stemming from that.
Have you done any work at the site?
The reason that the space is available to us is because I purchased the property under a property management company, and I currently manage the property, and there are 2 other businesses located in the property.
So you own the property?
That is correct.
You're going to be in the back half?
Yes. So the front entrance, or the front of the building, has 2 separate entrances. One for a business, which is Second to None Graphics, and then the other side is Asylum Comics. Off of Asylum Comics, there is a doorway, which will act as a gateway to our establishment, as well as we have would be our main entrance that anyone could access anytime Asylum isn't open. And we do also have rear parking. You could go through the comic book store while both businesses were open, or you could just pull around back.
You're currently a baker in
Yes,
Augusta,
sir.
Georgia?
Yes, sir.
So you go in at 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever, or 5 o'clock in the morning?
Some pretty early mornings.
As far as the renovations, have you dealt with the city much yet as far as floodplain and zoning and?
I had to do that initially because I had to get the occupancy for the property management company and the 2 businesses inside. Crossing that bridge when we come to it, because up to this point, it hasn't been necessary to pursue that avenue. Because my focus before this was getting the other 2 businesses in there and running, so that way the property is generating income.
I'm concerned on the $2,000 on retrofit.
Mm-hmm.
You might be a decimal point or 2 off.
The cost might not be as high as you'd think they'd need to be. Because we already have a drop ceiling installed, it would be a simple matter of replacing the type of ceiling tiles needed. So that way that would accommodate a eatery as opposed to what it is currently now.
It's a fairly small establishment. So what are some of the major errors that were made that you saw that you're going to avoid?
They definitely, they had a vision, a great vision, but it had a lot of different products that they couldn't be interchangeable, so they had everything out there at once, and of course not everything sold, not everyone liked certain things, so they threw a lot of products away in the beginning. Now they had to make their menu a lot smaller, and people that came in, when we first opened, that come back later on, they're like, oh, but you had this then, and a lot of the products we have, they have a lot of the same basic raw ingredients that are just interchangeable, so we'll always have the certain specific ingredients on hand, and with our 1, 3, and 5-year plans, we'll be slowly adding more to it, so we'll be perfecting a smaller menu, and then we can broaden.
What about surveying your clientele? Do you have an idea of what's liked here?
We've been making general inquiries via Facebook, just making posts. What would you be interested in seeing here locally? Got a lot of positive feedback from people locally. Mostly what we presented today, saying that we'd be offering, was the resounding answers of what people would like to see. We like to throw in some other things, like the meringues, for example, because those are a really fun product that not a lot of places have, as well as the candied apples.
You show about $15,000 a month in products sold. Is that average?
From the baker that I'm at, because Augusta, Georgia is a bigger town, I took that number and I made it a bit smaller to fit our population here. From a day-to-day basis, because our boss is also a promoter, so she's very good at promoting on social media. The days that she keeps up promoting, we do get a very steady clientele daily.
Augusta, Georgia is also a very tourist-driven economy. Augusta, Georgia is where the Masters tournament is held. So they experience a substantial amount of their city's income from what is, I'm not a golf person.
1 week of the year.
1 week of the year. And so, we don't see that here in Marietta on nearly that level, but because our economy does rely heavily on events such as the Stern Wheel Festival and more recently the Riverboat Roar, we're able to kind of use that formula that is used in Augusta, Georgia, and adapt that to our plan here in Marietta. The eventual goal is to kind of sell coffee products as well, but starting out, we really want to push our special ordering, our more intricate cake designs, because that is something that isn't done locally. That is also why we didn't include donuts as an offering, because the local market is already congested, both in Parkersburg and Marietta, with donuts. So, that's why we want to focus on cookies and muffins, and even not even muffins so much as cookies and cakes.
But no, we really do want to create affordable cakes for people for their special occasions.
Do you think it's 7 to 5? Is that right? 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.?
That is correct.
What about the people who are coming into work a little bit earlier who would probably like to drive through? That's just not going to be an option?
We are really limited, at least in my mind, by our location right now, but it is a very affordable location as outlined in the business plan. Our overhead, including utilities, rent, insurance, is going to be less than $1,000. And that is highballing. Being the property manager, I'm able to, control the rent price. And because there are multiple businesses in this building, I include rent in everyone's cost of rent because it's just easiest that way to manage for me to pay the utilities and collect a set amount from everybody else. Places like Jeremiah's Coffee House, Emmanuel's, they do their own. Actually, Jeremiah's utilizes Lisa's Sweet Shop based out of Beverly. I mean, I'd say we'd definitely be open to the idea of wholesaling our products as well as selling them out of our establishment.
How do you feel about your working relationship? Have you worked professionally together before?
We will work well together. We've been planning this for many years now, and just the excitement and the passion has only grown from there. That is us, and also the potential for a average of a part-time staff member for heavier or more business in certain months. Well, I guess we're really banking on the fact that we are the sole proprietors of the business, that if need be, we can take the hit to our pay to accommodate what is in the best interest of the business.
So you do have a couple other businesses as well, you said?
I co-own Second to None Graphics, and I set up a property management company to better manage the singular property that I own. My presence at Second to None Graphics is minimal at best, and then managing the property on 3rd Street is as simple as making sure the bills are paid and depositing the rent checks.
Your loan cash injection has $10,000. Where's that coming from?
Winning PioBiz. We like to be optimists.
And no provision for income taxes? You've got net profit before taxes of $29,000 and income taxes of 0. So how are you going to shelter your taxes? I'd like to know that. Maybe I can employ those sheltering methods in my business.
And as for that question, I wish I knew more about tax law. This is still going to be a learning experience for both of us, and there is going to be a lot of nicks and dings along the way. But we have no doubt that we will persevere through those and come out stronger as a result.
Who's advising you on this? Or
That is Rustin Funk. He is located on 3rd Street across, actually very close to us. He is who made up the contracts for my tenants for the building.
And he'll advise you on salaries and FICA and all that?
When we cross that bridge, most definitely.
We're done? Okay, thank you so much. So, the judges, hopefully in next 10 minutes or 15 minutes, they're gonna privately discuss the 2 cases and return to this room to announce the winner. So see you in about 10, 15 minutes. All right, well, okay, welcome back. First, I want to start by thanking the judges. They really worked hard on this, and their questions were really in depth. They do have some comments do you want both presenters up here?
So congratulations on both of your presentations. I think that both of you did an excellent job. And the mantra is that we'd rather work with an A team and a B idea than a B person and an A idea. I think that both of you have very interesting ideas and a lot of positive things about the potential of your businesses. And you are both obviously A team people. Kudos to you. You did an excellent job presenting. I saw a lot of the sort of vibrancy, the willingness to work all hours without pay, all of the kind of things the challenges that you're all going to face. I will say, I would recommend that you work very hard when you do business plans. I will acknowledge that when I read your business plans, I was not nearly as impressed as I was when I heard you present. So I think in both cases, you really need to work on that when and if you're going to get loans, going to present those to banks and so on. However, if you're going to run off and do a startup, the business plan is not necessarily the very first thing you're going to do. You're going to be focusing on getting your partnerships, getting your clients, telling your story, putting things together. And those are things that I think that you have the skill set now to do.
Miss Ashley, I think there's a huge need for what you're trying to do. I have some quality concerns utilizing high school students. One of my real good friends owns a business in Columbus, Ohio, doing what you're wanting to do. She's extremely successful. She's printing money right now. So
Can I vote for you?
But her quality is world class. The bakery feedback, one huge problem. You should have brought the judges the cookies first. Cookies are beautiful, they taste great, so thank you. I have some concerns or feedback on space and renovation costs. I know that building very well. You're gonna have parking, you're gonna have all these issues. They can be very challenging. And I think wholesaling would be a good potential avenue for you. There's a donut shop in Charleston, South Carolina called Glazed. You know, I dream about it every now and then. It's wonderful. You know, the donuts are $3 or $4 a pop. Anyway, Marietta needs a good bakery, so I wish you all the best. Marietta really needs spark of economic development, and I think both of you would be two great sparks of business entrepreneurs. You're going to take a lot of risk, and that's the only way you're going to get any reward. And one of my mentors told me early on when I was getting started, you know, he said, "I've been worse than broke." And I laughed at him. I said, "Yeah, whatever, old man. You don't know what you're talking about." I've been there, and you're going to face a lot of challenges. Stick with it. Keep your nose to the grindstone. Don't get frustrated.
We all think you did just a wonderful job presenting. I do agree there's a high need for people like you. You're way over my head in the information you know. And when I go downtown and I shop, the shopkeepers will stop me, and they tell me you're the services they need. Bakery, you're 2 blocks from my house. It would be wonderful. So good luck to both of you. I think it was a great presentation by both of you.
Well, we don't have just one chick. We have 2 chicks. So the first place goes to Nathaniel. Nathaniel? Yeah? So you want to take... Oh! So Nathaniel, as you see, the judges have agreed that we will award up to $7,500 in kind, in cash award, and also expense reimbursements for your business. Please be aware that you are in a college area, and a lot of experts are floating around downstairs, upstairs, out of the building. Definitely reach out to all those experts and ask for help and advice. Congratulations. And this is the first year we have a second award. Here we go. There you go, Ashley. The judges really admire your enthusiasm, your hard work, and your determination. Congratulations. We work on this, see how you want to use the $2,500, in what combination, but this is yours. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you again, the judges, and we'll see you next year. Are we good? Are we in a good position for your picture?